So if you're watching this video, chances are you're about to turn 40. And as a 40-year-old, I can tell you there's nothing to fear. 40 is the best age of all time, and here's why. First of all, when you turn 40, you'll just start speaking your mind. You'll stop caring what other people think. You'll be more blunt than ever before in your entire life. In addition to that, you're gonna find that when you turn 40, you just wear whatever you want. Wear mismatching socks, clothes that are 10 years old, and you're not gonna care. Now you might be thinking, hey, I'm turning 40, I wanna be in the best shape of my life. That's a novel goal. But what you're gonna find is that every time you go to the gym, you're gonna incur injuries, you're gonna pull muscles, things are gonna snap and buckle. That's expected, so you can only go to the gym once every 2 or 3 weeks at best. Realistically, your new workout when you're 40 is the walk. Taking a walk up the street, down the street, whatever. That's your new workout. You're also entering the age where it's about time to start taking those adult multivitamins, because you gotta make sure you got enough nutrition throughout your body. Now guys out there, you're probably starting to do the comb over, start to play with your hair in different ways to cover up your baldness. Guys, accept it. We're going bald, it's gonna happen, it sucks. So it's probably time to start buying some Rogaine. You may also notice that your joints will warn you of impending bad weather. When there's high humidity or an impending storm. That's normal too. When you turn 40, you might also notice you start getting belly button lint. That's like when you take off your shirt, you're gonna find there's some lint hiding in your belly button. I don't know why, but it just happens. It just happens. Realistically, you can't drink like you can in your 20s. I mean, as a college kid, you can be invincible, drink like crazy, and then the next day be fine. Not true in your 40s. In your 40s, you're gonna feel the hangovers. They're gonna last you 2, 3, 4, 5 days. In your 20s and 30s, it may have been okay to drink, cheap beer. But now that you're 40, it's like, you can only be drinking the craft brews, the higher end stuff. Like, it's just, the goal is not to get blitzed like a college kid. The goal is about enjoying the beverage, about enjoying the experience of being with your friends and having a good conversation. So, cheap beer is kind of out of the equation. Same thing goes to restaurants too. Chain restaurants are no longer an option. As far as technology goes, you're not gonna be able to keep up. If you have any questions about technology, you should seek the advice of a 5-year-old niece or nephew or your kids. They'll be able to advise you on what's hip, what's happening, and they'll be able to show you how to use your phone. At 40, you're gonna feel socially compelled to start planning for your retirement, but realistically, you can kick the can down the road another 5 or 10 years. So rather than worrying about retirement, focus on planning your next vacations. Now, when you turn 40, you're expected to have a midlife crisis. So the idea of buying a boat, sports car, vacation property, traveling and spending a ton of money, that's totally acceptable. You don't need to explain it to anyone. You're expected to have a midlife crisis. It's part of the American culture. So go for it. Do something reckless this year. Do something that just you've always wanted to do, but you can't quite rationalize anyway. If you're having difficulty rationalizing spending $100,000 on a sports car, just think about all the money wasted in college tuition, right? Now let's talk about relationships for a second here. If you're single, don't let that get you down. Being single is about being free. It's all your word choice. So just say that you love freedom. It's not that you fear commitment. You love freedom. That's a positive thing. Now, if you're divorced, don't be too hard on yourself. A lot of people get divorced in this day and age. Very common thing. If you're 40 years old, you still have plenty of time to have 2, 3, maybe even 4 more marriages before you die. So don't worry about that. If you're 40 and you're still happily married, that's amazing. You've defeated the odds. You should congratulate yourself. You are amazing. Dating changes a little bit once you turn 40. You can no longer really date girls who are in their 20s because they're way too young. Although girls who are in their 20s are cool because they have very low standards. They expect nothing. You're gonna find girls who are in their 30s, especially girls who are in their 40s, they're expected to have a full-time job, positive net worth, fancy dates, all this jazz. By the time you reach 40, you're kind of expected to have some assets under your belt. You're in your 20s, having a case of beer in the fridge or a case of wine, that was considered an asset. When you're in your 30s, you're expected to have a car, maybe a property or something. If you're 40, you should have some real estate. And if you don't, you can just kind of wing it. Just rent an Airbnb and pretend that you own it. Now it's time to go over the frequently asked questions about turning 40. When you turn 40, does that mean that you qualify for Social Security or senior citizen benefits? It doesn't. You do not yet qualify for those things. Great question. Like the mindset, but you're not quite there. I'm turning 40. Can I become senile? And in the past, you couldn't be, but because of COVID-19, luckily, for the first time ever, 40-year-olds are allowed to be senile. So yes, you can be senile. You can look forward to that, embrace it, and enjoy it. Can I take naps? I miss taking naps. I want to take naps. Can I take them? Yes, you can take naps. Can I play video games? Yes. Yes, you can. You are allowed to play up to 7 hours of video games per calendar month. What is the youngest age that I can date? The answer is 27. The common rule is divide by 2 and add 7. So 40 divided by 2 puts it 20, add the 7 puts it 27. At 40 though, we just dominate the world. Like, this is the age where you dominate the fucking world.